Let's hear from Karen. Hi, Karen. You work in A&E.
Yes, I do, yeah.
What do you want to tell me?
Well, I'm phoning up to say that every day I go into work, you start your shift with a fear of dread and doom because you walk past at least 5 ambulances parked up outside with patients in waiting to offload. And you know that the department's already full. I walked in this morning, same again, ambulances parked up outside, looked through to the walk-in waiting room, and it looked like Armageddon in there. It was absolutely chock-a-block. There was a 12-hour wait for those people.
12 hours?
Yeah, that's not unusual now. Government targets have gone out the window. There's no chance, not a chance of meeting them at the moment.
How do you keep going?
Well, I don't know. I come home, I cry. This morning I didn't want to go. I cried before I went, but I went. We're desperately short of staff. We were already depleted, and now because of Omicron, we've been down to, instead of 10 qualified nurses on a shift, 2. So it's not a case of if something untoward, somebody dies unnecessarily. It's when. And for Sajid Javid to say that he doesn't see anything in the data to suggest that we need further restrictions, I don't know what data he's looking at. He needs to come to work with me for a shift and see. But it's purely down to the hard work and the dedication of the staff that are there, that are keeping it afloat to their own detriment, to their health being neglected. I've gone through shifts where I haven't even had a wee all day. I take a closed cup of coffee into work. I come home with the same cup. I tip half away. We've got people that are off long-term sick now because the stress and the pressure has got to them. Because this has been going on now for months. We were suffering winter pressures throughout summer, but the last 4 weeks have gone just cosmic. I've got no words to describe it other than just desperately sad, relentless. There's never... You walk into work, in the old days, you'd have a few cubicles empty, nothing now. You walk into a full department and it's a case of juggling. We've got patients in cupboards. We're using every available space. There's been occasions we've had to see patients in our staff room. It's desperate. I've been in emergency nursing for 30 years, and I can honestly say I've never seen anything like this. It's totally unsustainable. That's a word I hear a lot at work all day. It's desperately sad because you've got sick patients that are getting sicker in the back of ambulances. And then, of course, the knock-on from that is that the people that are calling ambulances are having 10-hour waits because they're all parked up outside the department waiting to offload.
And how are your patients, how are the public when they deal with you now?
You spend all day apologising to them. On the whole, they're pretty good. Some aren't, as you can imagine. You try and you spend your whole day apologising to patients that have, for an A&E to have the same patient in the department for 2-3 days tells you that there's something wrong.
And what about the people at your trust, your bosses and their bosses? They must be aware of what's going on. We talked about Sajid Javid, but your bosses must know what's going on. What are they doing?
Of course, they're doing what they can to get the extra staff in to help, but there's none. And a lot of the wards are short, but if they have got some that they can spare on wards, they'll send ward nurses down to us, and some of them just look around, burst into tears and run out and say, I can't work here, I can't do it. The ones that stay, we spend all day encouraging them because they don't know. They're not A&E nurses. So you're not getting the specialities you need. So as a consequence, the more senior nurses have been absolutely run off our feet.
For you to be crying before and after your shift.
Yes. Today was the first time I cried before the shift. because I just thought, oh my God, I used to love, you used to go into work happy. Not anymore. We all say it's a case of surviving the shift now. And the bare minimum is that if you've kept your patients alive, then you've done okay. So things like patient care, unacceptable levels of patient care now.
For how long is this sustainable for you as a person?
We are, to say that we're days away from catastrophe, it's a case of hours. The amount of patients that we've got coming in with COVID as well now, it's just getting bigger and bigger. And they're not sick, most of them aren't sick enough to go to ITU, but they're still sick enough to require hospital. So this narrative that they keep saying that they're not as sick, they are. And when you get government MPs describing Omicron as a cold, and the government constantly saying that we're watching the data, they're not. They can't be.